why so sad today? Hey everyone, today we are going to try and build a house as cheap as possible so that everyone can have a house and enjoy living in Bloxburg. And I'm going to give you some tips while I build this house so that you can use them to build your very own cheap house. So the first tip I want to give you is a planning. You want to plan out your house first, because if you are going to try and build a lot and then remove it again and not undoing it, because undoing gives your full money back, but if you want to remove it afterwards, it's only going to give you 70% back of what you spent on it. So first we are going to start with the most expensive thing, and that is of course the kitchen. And yes, I have this weird graphic bug going on. If I go and zoom in weird place, see this black thingy, I'm scared of it. We want a fridge in our kitchen, obviously. Don't have to exactly copy what I do, but it might be easy in the future. I do have advanced placing, so I might use that, but if you don't have it, that's completely fine. You can still make your own house. Then for counters, it really depends on if you want counter space or not. I do want counter space, so I'm gonna go for the shaker counter. It is the second cheapest counter in the game, and it still has some room in it for you to place stuff inside. So I'm gonna go for this shaker shelf counter, because you do need one counter at least to have prepping space on for when you cook meals. And inside that, I'm gonna place my microwave so that I don't need a separate counter for my microwave as well. And I know it is $500 more than the cheapest microwave, but I did want to put it inside here. And then for a stove, I'm gonna go for the basic stove because that's the cheapest one. You don't need a sink in your kitchen. So we have the basics down of the kitchen, which means we can now place our wall. And as you can see, there's a little gap in between. We will fix that right away. So what you do to fix that is you have your placement grid on large and you just drag across the wall like that, and you place your stuff against the wall like so. And then of course, do you need a dining table? I don't think so, because that's a lot of money on chairs if you want to place 4 or 6 chairs around it, which is quite expensive, and we don't want to do that. So we are just gonna be placing kitchen islands, and we are going to add chairs behind that. So this is our kitchen so far. We got some prepping space, which we actually don't need because we have the kitchen island, but wasn't thinking clearly. We could have made it smaller, but well, here we are. And then of course I need a stool, so I'm gonna try and look for the cheapest one, and I think the cheapest one is the modern stool. No, we have the log stool right here, but I don't really like that one. Oh, I'm gonna go for the rustic stool. I kind of like that one. I'm just gonna be making 2 chairs in the corner right here, and maybe add a sink after all. So for sinks, I'm just gonna be using the tilt sink because it is so cheap. And then continuing this, I want to make an open living room. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just drag this through. In the living room, I'm also going to be putting my bed. Now, if you have advanced placement, you can always take the cheapest stools that they have right here and place them before you place the bed. It's not a necessity, so you don't have to do it. If you don't have advanced placement, you can just place your bed in like so. And I actually made it one bit too long. That's why I said you need to plan out your build. I actually didn't really plan it out. And then I want something to get my moods up. You can either pick a computer, but computers are quite expensive. The fun is only 4, while this one gives 7 fun and it's the same price. And if you go even cheaper, this one gives 5 fun and it's almost half the price of the cheapest computer. And I'm not going to focus too much on details already. And then for the entrance of the house, as you can see, we have a nice little doorway right here where we can add a door in. I'm going to go for the plain door since that is also the cheapest one. And I do want it to open in this direction. And to add some volume to the house, I'm not going to just create a box. I'm going to go one bit inside here and create my hallway like that. And now I have to think about space. If I want my bathroom, I'm going to put it here. And my bathroom is going to be a 3x2. And then here I still have room for the bedroom, even though I do have a bed. But if you want a second bedroom, obviously you can make that. This is just optional, so you don't have to do that. You can also place the cheapest couch, which comes in at $120. So you can really do with that what you want. We can also use that to make a garden if we want to. So I'm gonna add one extra bit to the bathroom right here, just for some volume. I'm gonna go a little bit more expensive here. Maybe the sliding door that only comes in at $270, and it's a nice looking door, so let's add that one in. And let's do the same towards the garden. This can be an extra bedroom space right here, but right now we're not gonna be using that because we put our bed in the living room. So far the value is $4,674, which is still very okay. And I'm not gonna go for cabinets above the kitchen because those are expensive and you don't really need those. And now our task is to make it look more expensive than it actually is. I will create a roof with some volume. So I'm gonna go for the cheapest roof, which is the flat roof. We're gonna go for a modern build right here. And as you can see, this looks like quite the modern home already. We're just gonna have to make it look a little bit more expensive. Then I'm gonna go into pillars and I'm gonna go for the plain pillar maybe, or the plain thin pillar. I'm just gonna put one here in the corner just so that it looks like it's supporting the roof. And it still looks a little boxy, so what you can do now is play with materials and give, for example, this part of the box a different kind of material, but if you add materials, it's going to be expensive, so I will see what it looks like without even painting it, because painting it creates another $5 for each wall. And then this one is going to be a red concrete, which will be a little more expensive, so you really have to keep in mind how you want to paint your house, because paint really drags your money down like that. And then for the doorway part, I'm going to be using a white color, and I'm not even going to add material so that I can keep the cost down. And then of course we need some windows, and windows can make your cost go up really fast. So you really have to think about which type of windows you want to use inside your house, because as you can see, this is $105. This is already $120 for a small window like that. So you really have to think about how you will use it and how you will implement it into your builds. So what I will do here is I will add two of these very expensive windows in the corner, which make it look very chic and elegant. They do give some sense of like expensiveness to it. And in the bathroom, I'm not even gonna bother adding windows in. And now to make it look more expensive, what you can do is you can paint these both in really black colors, and that will create a more fancy looking window. Now for the walls inside, I'm not gonna add a material because that's gonna make the cost go up really high as well. I'm just gonna add a slight beige color to the walls. And now we have come to the bathroom, and the bathroom is actually something that people spend a lot of money on in the game, but the only thing that you really need to fill up your moods is either a shower or a bathtub, because the toilet gives you hygiene as well, but the shower I feel like goes a little faster maybe. Depends on what kind of stuff you have, but you don't really need a toilet and a sink. A bath will perfectly do the job. So I'm gonna place the hygienic shower here, and then right next to it I'm gonna place a toilet just for decorations. I mean, you can use it to get your moods up, but it's not a necessity. And then here, instead of like a sink, I can either place a closet, so I'm gonna go into storage because you do want to be able to change your clothes, and I'm just gonna be adding the messy clothing rack. And if you still have money left, what you can do is create another wall, yes, just like that, and copy these sliding doors, if you have money left, that is. And of course you can add a sink here if you want, but it's really not necessary to have one. You can also add a mirror, but we're not gonna do that today. And then for the floors, I'm gonna try and not use automatic placement, because that would be a room to paint, that would be a room to paint, and that would be a room to paint, and then this closet as well. So what I will do is I will go to floor, put it on manual, and then connect the dots myself. I even am gonna be using the same pattern I'm gonna use inside for the floor right here in the backyard. And as you can see, I saved a lot of money here with this room, and then the outside we already saved $50 on painting floors. And now same with this, we already have white in our kitchen, which I like. I'm not gonna change the handles as well. The only thing I will change is the paint on top here, because I don't really like the brown. It doesn't really match with the rest of the house, so I'm gonna try and find some color that I like, put on top of this. But kitchens, I don't know, I always have problems with my kitchen, so just going to be using the oyster, and then I'm going to be painting these as well. And as you can see, I only spent $5 on each of these. And right here, I'm just going to pick oyster as well, just to have the same color throughout the house. Only spent $5 on that one. Oyster, 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 oyster. And then for the lighting, you really have to think, where do I need the most lighting and what's the cheapest lighting that I can find? So the cheapest lighting here is the plain ceiling light, and as you can see, it is a very bright already. I will change that color to a linen color so that it's a warmer hue throughout the house. If you paint a light first, or paint whatever first, and then copy it afterwards, you're only gonna have to pay the base price of the item, because you are buying the painted item in the color that you want instead of painting it afterwards. So should have told you that. I'm so sorry, I forgot about that. I keep forgetting it myself as well. And then in the backyard here, you can basically do whatever you want. The only thing I will add here to make it look like a backyard a little bit more is maybe a compact bush in the corner right here, something like that. That's $120 spent on the backyard. And as you can see, it is still quite empty, and I don't want to spend too much on decorations. So what I will do is I will go into carpets, and I will pick, for example, this simple round carpet, which is only $30. But of course, I'm going to change up the material here. That is $50 spent on carpet. As you can see, this is quite the nice house already. And then what can make a house look a little more expensive as well is if you paint the ceiling color or material to something like a wood like this. I'm gonna use the same color that I used on the floor. Let's go out of build mode and see what it actually looks like. So this is the entrance to our house, and as you can see, the black windows really do make it look a little more expensive. Then you enter into your kitchen just like that. So you got your fridge, your stove, and even a microwave, so you can have that. And this is the living room. You also sleep here, but in the bed there are chairs that you can just sit on and watch the television just like that. And then we have our hallway, so there's no decoration inside it because decoration is a lot of money and that's not what you want to spend your first money on. And then we have our bathroom right here. There is no sink, but you can always place one. The only thing you really need in the bathroom is your shower or a toilet. You don't need both of them actually. And of course we have a little backyard right here. You can place chairs or whatever you want, and you can just sit and relax here. You don't need the biggest garden in the world. And the value of this is $8,247. So I'm quite happy that we kept it under that $10,000 mark. You still got some money left, for example, to place a little pathway towards the front or whatever you want to do. So yes, this is a very small house. We tried to keep the cost down. You can copy it if you want to, change some things up, whatever you want to do. It's really cheap, so you could use it even as a mood plot and not have just a bot standing outside. Now anyways, that was it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and it helps you build some cheaper houses if you really want to make some. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button and please subscribe.